What would you say a couple of weeks ago if, I told you that the Habs would piggyback themselves into the playoffs on the backs of Arturri Lekhonen, Jake Evans, and Paul Byron? You'd probably tell me to go suck a fart out of an elephant ass, right? You wouldn't believe me. Well, guess what? That is exactly what happened last night, and hey, who needs Connor McDavid when you've got Jake McDavid, Paul McDavid, and Arturri McDavid, huh? This line was unstoppable last night. And where the hell was that all season? Jeez. And they were even playing against Connor McDavid for a lot of that game last night. That's some pretty wild stuff right there. Now, they did squeak into overtime during this game, securing their playoff position, but they did go on to lose the game. But hey, take the point and run. Because the objective of the past few years is complete, right? Squeak into a playoff position by an ass hair and hope and pray you can make some noise. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the game review here. And you know what? I had like 50 score predictions in the game preview for this one, and guess who won? Absolutely nobody. Haha. Nice try. Kinda. Okay, so the first period begins and things start off a little slow. Koskinen is back in net for the Oilers, and he looks like he has a cold in his brain from time to time. Yeah, it almost seems as if he forgets what he's doing in there sometimes, but nonetheless, he makes a couple of saves early. The Byron, Lekhonen, and Evans line get out there, and Jake Evans misses a tap-in pass from Byron, and I'm thinking, oh, come on, Evans, what the hell? But just a shift later, they are back on the ice again to make some noise, and this time Evans accepts a pass as he's crossing the Oilers' blue line. He stops up in front of the net and fools Darnell Nurse and rips a shot top shelf past Koskinen, giving the Habs a 1-goal lead. Things are looking pretty damn good, right? Wrong. As like 20 seconds later, the Oilers control the puck in the Habs zone, they spin around the Habs net, and James Neal finds the puck and squeaks a shot past Jake Allen, giving him his 5th goal of the season and tying the game at 1. Time goes on, and Ryan Nugent Hopkins picks up a puck in the Habs zone, and he rifles a puck past Jake Allen as well. Now the Oilers are up 2-1. And just like that, the Habs are back to a position that they are becoming accustomed to, right? They're playing from behind. Yeah, not cool. The remainder of the period plays out with the Habs killing off a penalty at the end of the period, and the Oilers outshoot the Habs in the period by a score of 13-9. Off to the second period we go now. The Habs get a power play early in this one as James Neal gets caught for tripping in the Habs into the rink. And both power play units generate very little offense, but then out comes the red hot Evans, Lekhonen, and Byron line from the first period, and they finish off a nice little passing play with Paul Byron chipping the puck up and over Koskinen in tight, tying the game up at 2. And after the very next face-off, they get yet again another rush into the Oilers zone, and Byron almost scores his 2nd of the game, but he gets robbed by Koskinen. A couple of shifts later, we see Connor McDavid take advantage of a tired Habs unit on the ice. He performs some kind of puck-carrying witchcraft on Thomas Tatar, just catches him with his pants down here, guys, and then fires a rocket of a pass over to Domonic Kahun, who scores the easiest goal of his life. Okay, I'll stop. Now the Oilers are leading the game again by a score of 3-2, and the rest of the period drags out with no more goals, and it's becoming more and more evident that, hey, that Jake Evans line is money, and they're the only ones that showed up to the party at this point. Now on to the third period, and the Habs done a good job early controlling the play as they roll 4 lines and each line getting in some good shifts. The Arturri McDavid line hops onto the ice, and they score one of the prettiest Habs goals that I've seen this season to tie the game, but it's offside. So there's that. But don't worry, because a few minutes later, they get another rush into the Oilers zone, and Arturri McDavid himself fires a wrist shot at Koskinen that fools him somehow, and hey, the Habs have a tie game now. They kill off the rest of the clock nicely, and when there was only 1 minute left to go in the game, the Habs were looking pretty nervous out there, huh? They started hanging on to the puck a little tighter. Holy shit, they sure as hell didn't trust themselves, that's for sure. Anyway, the period comes to an end, and off to overtime we go. Things start off a little slow in overtime, but then all of a sudden it just opens right up. The Oilers hit the post early on, and then the Habs get a couple of chances of their own in front, but fail to capitalize. Thomas Tatar then steps out onto the ice, He's out there for a good 5 seconds before he gives the puck away. And the next thing we know, Connor McDavid is in all alone on a freaking breakaway. And it's game over. Imagine. And for some reason, I feel like the Habs can brag right now because they played a game against the Oilers and only limited McDavid to just 2 points. That's an accomplishment. That's huge. Anyway, guys, the Habs are in the playoffs, so that is, something for you Stray Cats to be proud of. And hey, I'll see you next time.